Let's get to Mindy Finn. Mindy Finn is the vice presidential candidate running with Evan McMullen. They are on the ballot in Virginia as an alternative to Trump, part of the Never Trumper crowd. And Mindy Finn was born and raised outside of Houston, Texas. Good job. Now, of course, everybody knows I'm a diehard, long Houston Astro fan, so that's good. And she served most recently as founder and president of Empowered Women, a bipartisan organization that gives voice to a bold new generation of American women in civic life. Okay, good deal for Mindy. Mindy's married and has 2 children, Max and Nathan. Joining us now, Mindy Finn, vice presidential candidate with Never Trumpers, Evan McMullen. Mindy, welcome.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, Mindy, let's get right to it. If Clinton wins, this country is circling the drain. This is probably the most corrupt person to ever run for the Oval Office. If she wins, you'll have open borders forever. You'll have thousands and thousands of illegals every day coming in. They're going to make sure they all are registered to vote. She's going to be running around with the neocons involved in all kinds of regime changes. She says she's opposed to TPP, but she's not. She's now, so we're going to have more of these trade deals. We got $20 trillion in debt. She's going to spend you into oblivion. What is the point of your campaign?
Well, I need to push back on your intro a little bit. We are not a Never Trump campaign. We are a truly conservative campaign who does not see Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump as fit for the presidency. And we're responding to the majority of Americans who look at both of these options and say that they're dissatisfied with these options, that they don't trust them, that they don't like them, that they think America can do better. And so we looked at both options and said, you talk about Hillary Clinton's agenda, which I am concerned about as you are, but both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have expansive views of federal power and the federal government and expansive views of executive power. And so we believe in foundational constitutional principles that balance that power, that balance it at the federal level back to Congress. Congress has given that up to the executive branch and given the executive branch too much power to regulate and to spend, but also vertically down to the states and localities. Nobody was standing for those principles in this election. The other thing that's foundationally important that it's sad that we have to talk about, but we do, is that we stand for that all men and women are created equal. We all have the same inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And through Hillary Clinton's corruption, she clearly doesn't respect all. And through Donald Trump's disrespect and demeaning of women, Hispanics, African Americans, and those with disabilities, and even our veterans in this race.
Mindy, what the hell? Mindy, what the hell are you talking about? That is the bunch of poppycock. I can't even believe you just said that. And you're running for vice president of the United States. Let's get to the facts and stop the ridiculous hyperbole, the sanctimonious conservative nonsense that you people spew out. Give me examples. You said Trump is not, quote, conservative enough. Give me examples, Mindy, of Donald Trump's positions, which he has been solid on since day one. Give me examples of his positions that you don't think are, quote, unquote, conservative enough.
Well, first of all, he does talk about cutting taxes, but there is no plan, zero plan to do anything about spending. So you raise the debt, which is a concern, a huge concern. It's making us weaker as a country and weaker around the world. Does he have a single plan to cut spending? He doesn't. Even at least in the last election, on the right, on the Republican side of the ticket, they were honest about the fact that if we're going to pay down the debt, we absolutely have to reform entitlement. So that's one, certainly right there. The fact that he talks the way that he speaks about women in this country, Hispanics, African Americans, that's a division of this country. Even his comment yesterday, which I understand was maybe meant to be flippant, but people don't view it as flippant, that why don't we just go ahead and cancel the election and give it to Donald Trump?
Oh, you know what, Mindy, you got to be kidding me. You're going to bring that up. The guy was Joe. What do you people have no sense of humor? Do you just hate yourselves?
No, I don't.
The guy is kidding around. He's on a campaign trail. He's doing a rally in front of 20. Look, he draws 20,000 people. Herself and Evan draw 12. Okay, so come on. He's in front of 25,000.
I guess you're not at our
He's
rallies.
He's in front of 25,000 people, Mindy, and he makes a joke. Okay. And you want to bring this up on the air? You're running for vice president now. As far as cutting spending, what he has said is and he has said this very clearly. He has brought the debt up multiple times, and he says if we can get 4% growth and hold spending. Look, he just had a speech in Gettysburg the other day, and he says, elect me, this is my contract with America, with the voter, and I am not going to replace any federal worker who retires. Hey, there's a spending cut right there. That's real. It's attrition. So how do you say he doesn't have a spending cut plan?
He doesn't have any plans to address the debt. He has failed to say that we need to reform entitlements, which we all know is a third or more of mandatory spending in this country, that if we do not reform it, we're going to continue to plummet into debt. That's just a fact. The other issue is that we need to defeat ISIS. He says we need to defeat ISIS, but then at the same time in the last debate says that Bashar al-Assad is going after ISIS, that Bashar al-Assad is killing terrorists, when what Bashar al-Assad is doing is killing women and children and civilians and bombing and attacking hospitals.
You want to continue.
He doesn't have an understanding.
You want to continue
of
the
what's going on over there.
neoconservative mantra of regime change. You guys think you can run around the world, get us in wars, be masters of the universe, all the things that have destroyed this country since the first George Bush got in there. Look, Mindy, let me just tell you this. You're not going to win. So every vote.
Well, either is Donald Trump.
Well, I think he's going to win, but I can tell you right now, every vote for Evan McMullin is a vote for Hillary Clinton. Because if you're voting for McMullin, you're certainly not going to vote for Clinton. Why would you do anything to have this woman
reject that.
win?
Actually, here I'm in Utah right now. We have voters who were planning to vote for Clinton who were voting for us instead. We have people who were not going to vote at all because they don't support either candidate, who now are turning out and will probably vote for conservatives up and down the ballot and vote for us at the top of the ticket. Mm-hmm. So we're actually helping them. We're helping conservatives and Republicans in that way. We certainly have people who, were very concerned and were going to turn out and didn't know what they were going to do and might write somebody else in who are voting for us. So it's just absolutely incorrect to say every vote for us is a vote for Clinton. It's not true. Every vote for us is a vote for us. And Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump is not entitled to anyone's vote. Otherwise, why would we have the election? We might as well just cancel it. People turn out because their vote is their voice, and they vote for who they want to see in office. That's how our democracy works.
Okay, so you're on the ballot in 14 states. So even if you won all those states, you can't possibly win. So this is a Don Quixote effort that you're in, and I failed to see the logic behind it. What do you guys think? Like, Clinton's going to win, and then somehow you're going to install your own candidate, take the Republican Party over it, and reshape it back in your Paul Ryan neoconservative image where we have open borders, TPP, all these trade deals, and you're never going to reform entitlements until you grow the economy out of the mess that we're in. So what's your objective here?
Well, yeah, we're on the ballot in a series of states, as you mentioned, but we're actually an authorized write-in and 30-plus more, taking the total to 45 by Election Day. Even in the states that we're not on the ballot, people are writing us in. We don't encourage that, but they're so eager for this other option. So I think that's important. You talk about the quixotic way of our campaign. Abraham Lincoln was also in that mold, in the quixotic mold, to become president. So our history is marked by countless men and women who stood up when it mattered most, and that's how we view this. Now, as the election stands right now, I mean, our goal initially was, even though we were late into the game, if we get on the ballot in a few states and we win those states, we could block Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both from getting 270 electoral votes and send this election to the House. As it stands right now, that looks very, very unlikely because Hillary Clinton is dominating Donald Trump in electoral college projections. That's not because of us. That's because of his lack of ability to appeal to a majority of Americans.
Mindy, why don't you just stop the nonsense here on my show and just tell me the truth and admit to our listeners.
All due respect, sir, it's not nonsense.
It is nonsense. Mindy, why don't you just tell the truth that your objective is to destroy Trump so that Clinton can win and then you guys can somehow get your nominee in 2020 when the country's already gone down the drain. It's just be honest.
That's not accurate.
Your objective is to destroy
the
Trump candidacy. What else is it? You can't possibly win. So your objective is to destroy the Trump candidacy, and then you can go around and saying, see, we were right. Is that your objective? Because it certainly isn't winning.
Voters an option. I am a young person, as you mentioned. Before getting into this race, I heard from many, many, many young people who would say, I waited my entire life to vote, and these are my options. I don't want to vote for either of these people at the top of the ticket. I may not turn out. And now those people are saying to us, thank you for giving us an option that we can go to the polls and vote for and be proud of. Thank you for standing on principle. Thank you. You're an answer to our prayers. Some of them are moved to tears. They were feeling so concerned and discouraged about the state of our democracy and where it was headed. Now they're encouraged. Now they feel motivated to get involved and to cast their vote. And this is one of the reasons that here in Utah, you didn't cite any of the polls here, we are tied or leading Donald Trump in Utah. Now, that's not going to send Hillary Clinton to the president. She doesn't need Utah to win. She's winning in every single swing state practically except for a couple others. But it is really important if we're going to have a future here that young people and women and minorities actually feel that they are going to be engaged in our democracy. And many of them are conservative and have conservative principles, but are so turned off by a party that they feel like doesn't welcome them.
Party that doesn't welcome them. Your Republican Party, is that the one you're talking about? The one that has sold out working men and women of this country for the past 3 decades? The party that has gotten us involved in wars where their cronies made hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars and our children came home in body bags? The Republican Party that sent a majority of senators to the United States upper chamber after the midterms in 2014 and then caved into every single Obama demand and conceded to him on everything. That Republican Party, is that the one that you're talking about?
I'm not talking about that Republican Party. We're not running as a Republican ticket. I think here there's points that we probably agree, which is our leaders don't have courage or backbone. They fail to have courage or backbone. Even in this election, they go back and forth in terms of, there's some out there saying that they can't endorse Donald Trump, but yet they're voting for him, which we all know is the same thing. They have they've made a lot of bold promises that they didn't keep. They care more about their own careers and the people who are writing the big checks and not the people who are voting for them. They have failed to listen. I absolutely agree that they have not focused enough on the working class, largely the white working class, and they've cared more about crony capitalism and big business. So I think in this area, we disagree. I disagree with you that Donald Trump is the solution to that, certainly, or Hillary Clinton.
Well, Mindy, you seem like a very nice young lady with a very nice family with a bright future ahead of you. I wish you the best. I got to tell you, though, straight up, Trump is going to win this election. And Mindy, what you fail to grasp here, as many of your never-Trumper friends, you fail to grasp the movement that is sweeping America. And you guys really think that somehow if you can take enough votes and stop Trump and Clinton wins, then you're going to take the Republican Party back over with Paul Ryanism. It's over, Mindy. The Republican Party's done in that image because they don't stand for a damn thing. Everybody knows it. This movement, inspired by Donald Trump, is sweeping the country. Win or lose, it's going to perpetuate. I'll tell you something else. Trump is surging. Mindy, he's closing, peaking at the right time. He's going to win. It's not even going to be close. And he's certainly going to win the state of Utah. But I'll give you the final word because I like you.
Well, sure. So, I disagree that he's going to win because the facts don't support that. But maybe he does. I do agree with you that the Republican Party of the past is gone. It's done. But that also means that there's going to be 30 to 40, and I think that will be even a growing percentage of people that don't want to affiliate with that party anymore. And it probably will mean that there will be a new party that will rise up. It will be a conservative party or an independent party, and that the political system has been fractured. And I think ultimately maybe that's a very good thing. But the fact that the Republican Party is in disarray and is in civil war, and if Donald Trump takes over and is the future of the Republican Party, for me personally, that's not a party that I can be part of.
Well, it is for me. I'm excited about it, and I can't wait till he wins, and I'll send you an email. I have your email. But look, Mindy, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the passion for what you believe in. We don't agree. I think you're basically delusional, but you're still a very nice lady, and thanks for being on our show. And
good.
good
I'm
luck.
glad we can peacefully disagree. Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure.